You walk up to the chains, binding the princess to the wall, and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart. I'm guessing you don't have the key. Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chain somewhere in the cabin. Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them. She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door to the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear a click of the lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I will repeat myself once again. You are here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until that task is done. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you had just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Oh yeah? Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in. I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice. If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together. She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made it down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that. Without hesitation, you bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally! The wound drives her to the ground. Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end. You bastard! Were you lying to me this whole time? The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator. You've made a terrible enemy. There's nothing in this world that could possibly save you from me. I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your blade cuts into her again and again as you are tackled to the ground, your body raked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Okay, forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got. Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around. You steel your resolve and take another step closer to the princess. You probably won't make it out if you're alive, but you can still make sure that she won't make it out if you're either. Whoa, excuse me, what's this about not making it out if you're alive? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone in this room is still standing right now. Don't act so surprised. Can you not feel those gashes and holes pulling you apart? If the princess doesn't do you in here, blood loss is certain to finish the job. You take another step forward and the princess lunges towards you. The two of you enter one last exchange, a flurry of blade and claw and fleshy ribbons. And then you stop, neither you nor the princess able to go on any further. You collapse to the ground, and the princess collapses beside you. Blood pools around you both as you watch each other fade away.
After all this time alone, I thought I finally found a friend. But you were just another monster, weren't you?
Silence falls as the room starts to get fuzzy around you. You've paid a terrible price, but you've saved us all. It's over.
If you think this is it, you are sorely mistaken. One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
But you don't have time to worry about such things. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Brilliant! We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me.
Oh, did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue. A bit of the old brain fog, if you will. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. I mean, we already know we can't trust her, so let's just get on with the show.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
Don't worry, you can trust us to get the job done.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots, the walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the shelf. It would be pretty difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Well, if we're grabbing the weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it.
That's not actually a bad idea. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick, with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognize your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else.
She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation.
No, you can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is.
Look, I'm just throwing ideas out here. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before we make any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. Now, you descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
Well, that's no fair. How would she know that?
So we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
You made a comment back in the woods about having been here before, and now she's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh no, you've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. So, you really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't, but you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we can put all of this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue. You were the one who stabbed me in the back when I was still in chains. A dirty thing like you doesn't get to decide when all is fair.
You can't be serious. Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. That blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no. As do I. Abstain? You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her. You're going to get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
You hear a clanging of metal against the dirt floor, and the chains fall from the princess's wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That's sneaky little. A woman after my own heart. It's a shame we just gave her a weapon, because if I were her, I'd use it on us right now. Well, luckily for us, you're not her. Oh, we sure think alike, though. I can promise you that. Whatever you say next, you'd better make it count. She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face.
What do you think happens now?
She pulls back, clearly caught off guard by whatever nonsense you just said to her. I thought it was nice. Whether it's nice depends on if we meant it. We didn't mean it. Did we? If you were lying, we'd all know. And unfortunately, you weren't lying.
What? What do you mean by that? What kind of game are you playing?
The look of surprise that momentarily softened her features vanishes as she steels her nerves. And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No, come on, that's not right. I told you! I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it! I got you! You.
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time. Everything goes dark, and you die.